Hey everyone! Imagine this, you're sifting through a handful of pennies, maybe looking for some spare change for coffee, and bam! You find a simple looking 1949 Lincoln penny. You're about to toss it in the not worth my time pile, but what if I told you that little coin could be worth $1.4 million? That's right, $1.4 million for a single penny, but rare coins like these are hiding in plain sight, and today, we're diving deep into why this 1949 no-mint mark penny is so valuable, how to spot one, and most importantly, how you could cash in if you find one. Stick around because this could be the most profitable few minutes you've ever spent. Now, you might be thinking, okay, what's so special about a 1949 penny? It looks just like any other Lincoln cent, right? Well, not exactly. This penny is unique because it lacks a mint mark, meaning it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. While Philly coins usually aren't rare, this particular year had some surprising errors and variations that turned an ordinary penny into a collector's dream. Some of these pennies were struck with slight misalignments, doubling on Lincoln's portrait, or unusual die cracks. If your 1949 penny has any of these quirks, cha-ching! You might have hit the jackpot. Most pennies from 1949 have been through 75 years of circulation, meaning they're pretty beat up. But if you find one in pristine condition, especially with a high grade like MS-67, then you're looking at serious cash. Lincoln pennies are one of the most collected coins in the US. When rare ones show up, collectors fight over them at auctions, driving the price sky high. And that's how this 1949 no-mint mark penny recently sold for a whopping $1.4 million. If there's no D or S under the date, you might be onto something: double dies, off-center strikes, or cracks on the coin's surface. Big money signs. The shinier and more detailed the penny, the more valuable it is. If you suspect you have a winner, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. A high grade could mean life-changing money. A relatable story, my almost millionaire moment. Alright, let me tell you a personal story. A few years ago, I found an old penny in my dad's coin jar. It was a 1949 no-mint mark. My heart started racing. Was this the $1 million coin? I grabbed a magnifying glass, examined it like a detective in a crime drama, and even did a little happy dance. I was ready to retire early. Then, I took it to a coin expert. You know what they said, crushed faster than a soda can at a recycling plant. But that experience taught me the value of checking coins carefully. Who knows? Maybe next time, I'll actually find one of these $1.4 million beauties, and so could you. So, the next time you're about to toss a penny aside, take a closer look. That little coin could be your ticket to financial freedom. If you find a 1949 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, check for errors, get it graded, and who knows, you might be holding a millionaire-making piece of history now. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on valuable coins, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'm dropping new videos every week on how to spot rare coins, how to sell them, and how to turn your pocket change into big money. And if you ever find a $1 million penny, don't forget who gave you the tip. Maybe send me a coffee or a yacht. Either works. Hey, what's up, coin hunters? Have you ever found an old penny in your change and thought, meh, just another penny? Well, what if I told you that you might be holding onto a tiny fortune without even knowing it? Today, we're diving into the 1965 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin so valuable it could change your life. Yep, you heard that right. This little copper beauty is worth a jaw-dropping $1.3 million in today's market. Now, before you go flipping over every penny in your house, stick around, because I'm going to tell you exactly why this coin is worth so much, how to spot one, and what to do if you find one. Oh, and of course, I'll sprinkle in some humor and a wild story about a personal penny discovery. So let's get into it. What's so special about the 1965 Lincoln penny? It looks like any other penny, right? Wrong. This coin is a collector's dream, and here's why. In 1965, the US Mint was going through a bit of a crisis. Silver prices were skyrocketing, so the government decided to phase out silver from dimes and quarters. During this transition, the mint also stopped using mint marks on coins to prevent hoarding. That's why if you look at a 1965 penny, you won't see a D for Denver or S for San Francisco. It's completely markless. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Most 1965 pennies are made of copper and zinc, but a few rare error coins were accidentally struck on leftover silver planchets, blanks meant for dimes. These ultra-rare pennies are the ones that have made collectors go absolutely crazy. How to tell if you have a $1 million penny now? You might be wondering, how do I know if I've got one of these valuable pennies? Good question. Here are the top ways to check. A regular 1965 penny weighs 3.11 grams because it's made of copper. But if you have one of the rare silver-struck pennies, it will weigh about 2.5 grams, just like a dime. So grab a scale and check that weight. Ever dropped a silver coin on a hard surface? It makes a higher-pitched ringing sound compared to copper. Try lightly tapping your penny against another coin and listen for the difference. Copper pennies are not magnetic, so if your 1965 penny sticks to a magnet, then, well, sorry, but it's not the $1 million one. If you think you have something special, send it to a coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can confirm if you've hit the jackpot. The wild story of my lucky penny find. Alright, let me tell you a quick story. A while back, I was digging through an old jar of coins my grandpa gave me. You know, one of those dusty, ancient jars that look like it belongs in a museum. I wasn't expecting much, maybe a couple of wheat pennies, a buffalo nickel if I was lucky. But then, bam, I spotted a 1965 no mint mark penny that looked different. I immediately grabbed my scale, and guess what? It was lighter than normal. My heart started racing. Could I have one of the ultra-rare ones? I tapped it against another penny, and the sound was higher pitched. I was this close to calling a grading service when I realized I had just accidentally weighed a dime instead of my penny. Yeah, turns out I got a little too excited, but hey, that moment taught me a valuable lesson. Always double check your finds because one day, it really could be the $1 million one. I know, you want it to look shiny and new, but collectors love coins in their natural state. Cleaning it could actually lower its value. Send it to a reputable grading service to confirm its authenticity, auction it. Coins like this can sell for over $1.3 million at auctions like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbowers. If you play your cards right, this little penny could pay for your dream house, a sports car, or, let's be real, a lifetime supply of snacks. The 1965 no mint mark Lincoln penny might seem like just another coin, but it could actually be your golden ticket to financial freedom. The key is to check your change, stay informed, and never underestimate the power of a humble penny. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to smash the like button, it really helps the channel grow. And if you want to hear more about valuable coins, rare finds, and insider tips on how to spot hidden treasures, subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss out. Have you ever found a valuable coin? Drop a comment below and share your story, I'd love to hear about it. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we talk about coins that could make you rich. Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever gone through your spare change, hoping to find something valuable, only to end up with a handful of pennies that seem, well, just like pennies? Yeah, me too, but today, I've got a story that's going to make you want to dump out every coin jar in your house. Because believe it or not, a simple 1969 Lincoln penny, yep, the kind you've probably seen 1,000 times, could be worth up to $1.5 million. I know, it sounds crazy. But stick around, because we're going to break down why this tiny piece of copper could be a jackpot in disguise, and trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be checking your pennies like a detective on a mission. So grab a cup of coffee, maybe a magnifying glass, and let's get into it. What makes the 1969 Lincoln penny so valuable? After all, millions of these were minted in Denver. So why is this little coin worth more than a brand new sports car? Most 1969 pennies are just regular old pennies. But there's a special kind, one with an ultra-rare error. That's where things get interesting. Certain 1969 pennies were struck with a double die obverse. If you're new to coin collecting, that just means the lettering in Lincoln's image appears slightly doubled, almost like it's blurry or shadowed. And trust me, this is one of those errors that collectors go wild for. And now, before you start thinking, great, I have a blurry-looking penny somewhere. Hold on. The trick is spotting the right kind of doubling. The doubling should be super crisp and clear, especially on Liberty and the date 1969. If it looks like your penny had too much coffee and is shaking, that's not the error we're looking for. So where does that crazy high price come from? Well, rare coin collectors and auctions drive up the value. In recent years, one of these rare 1969 pennies in pristine condition sold for a jaw-dropping $1.5 million. Imagine turning a single penny into a life-changing amount of money. Finding one is like finding a winning lottery ticket. But hey, it happens. And who knows? Maybe you've got one sitting in your piggy bank right now, alright? Let's talk about how to tell if your 1969 D penny is special. Here's what to look for, especially on Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date. A Denver mint mark, D, that was not doubled, that's a key detail. A well-preserved condition, the fewer scratches and wear, the more valuable it is. If you find one that matches these details, do not clean it, that could lower its value. Instead, put it in a protective case and get it checked by a professional coin grading service. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was at a flea market, digging through a jar of old coins, because that's just the kind of person I am. This old guy running the stand told me, take whatever penny you want for a nickel each. So I picked a handful, thinking maybe I'd get lucky. A long story short, no $1 million penny in there. Just a bunch of regular old change. But I did find a wheat penny worth about $5, which means I technically made a profit. Moral of the story? You never know what's out there until you look, and honestly, that's the best part of coin collecting. It's like treasure hunting, but without the need for a pirate ship. The 1969 D Lincoln penny could be sitting in your pocket right now, just waiting to change your life. If you've got a few spare pennies lying around, it's time to start checking. And who knows? Maybe the next big coin discovery will be yours. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on finding valuable coins, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We drop videos all the time about rare coins, hidden treasures, and how you can make serious money from your spare change. Also, if you've ever found a valuable coin, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your stories. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we turn everyday pocket change into potential fortunes. Today, we're diving into a tiny copper coin that could make you a millionaire, the 1979 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Yeah, you heard that right. That little penny you might have tossed in a jar or even spent on gum could be worth a whopping $1.30 million. Now, before you start frantically digging through your couch cushions, let's break down why this coin is so valuable, what makes it special, and how you might just have one sitting in your collection without even knowing it. Oh, and stick around to the end because I'll also share a funny little story about how I almost gave away a rare penny without realizing it. It still haunts me to this day. So, what's the deal with the 1979 no mint mark Lincoln penny? I mean, it's just a regular OL penny, right? Wrong. This particular penny has a fascinating backstory, and it all comes down to errors, rarity, and demand. First off, if your 1979 penny has no mint mark, that means it was made at the Philadelphia Mint, which, at the time, wasn't stamping a mint mark on pennies. Most Philly pennies from that year are pretty common, but here's where things get interesting. Some of these coins had minting errors or were struck with unusual die variations, making them incredibly rare. If your penny looks like the design is slightly shifted, cha-ching. You might be holding something valuable. Lift the lettering or Lincoln's face looks slightly blurry or doubled, congratulations. That's a major sign of a rare coin. Even if your penny doesn't have an error, if it's in pristine, uncirculated condition, it could still fetch a high price at auction. Now, let's talk numbers. The average 1979 no mint mark penny in circulated condition is worth about 1 cent. Not exactly groundbreaking. But here's where it gets wild. If you have a mint state or error version of this coin, its value shoots up dramatically. A few years ago, a pristine, high-grade 1979 penny with no mint mark sold for an incredible $1.3 million at auction. That's right, a single penny fetched more money than most people make in a lifetime. Even less perfect versions can still be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So, next time you see a 1979 penny, take a closer look. It might just change your life. Okay, story time. So a few years ago, I was helping my uncle clean out his old coin jar, the one where all the random pennies and nickels just sit for decades. We started going through them, just casually looking for anything interesting. I pulled out a shiny 1979 penny with no mint mark, but I didn't think much of it. I mean, it was just a penny, right? So, being the generous person that I am, I gave it away to a kid who was collecting coins for fun. Fast forward a few months later, I was scrolling through a coin collector's forum, and boom, I saw a story about a 1979 no mint mark penny selling for over $1 million. My heart dropped faster than my phone when I saw my screen time report. I immediately called my uncle, but it was too late. The kid had traded the penny at a local coin shop for a Slurpee and a pack of gum. I guess he made a sweet deal, literally. So yeah, lesson learned, always check your coins before you give them away. Alright, folks, That's the crazy story of the 1979 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Who would have thought a tiny coin could be worth over $1,000,000? Go grab that jar of old pennies, check under the couch, raid your car's cup holder, and start hunting for this valuable coin. Who knows? You might just have a hidden fortune waiting to be discovered. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins that could be worth big money, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out. I'll be back with more coin hunting tips, crazy value discoveries, and maybe even a few more painful mistakes to learn from. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a valuable coin or if you're now frantically checking your change. I want to hear all about it. Hey there, fellow coin enthusiasts and curious minds. Have you ever checked your pocket change and thought, just a bunch of pennies? Well, let me tell you, that little copper coin sitting at the bottom of your purse, car cup holder, or under your couch cushion might just be worth a fortune. Today, we're diving into the surprising value of the 1986 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin that looks like any other but could make you a millionaire overnight. That's right. This little guy has fetched an unbelievable $1.8 million in the market. You heard that correctly. A penny worth less than a gumball sold for more money than most people will ever see in their lifetime. Grab your magnifying glass, because we're about to uncover some crazy facts, hidden details, and expert tips that could help you cash in big. And stick around to the end, because I'll be sharing a personal story about the time I almost threw away a valuable coin. Trust me, you don't want to make the same mistake. First things first, why is this penny special? Most coins minted in the US have a mint mark, a tiny letter that tells you where they were produced. D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and P for Philadelphia. But this one? No mint mark at all. Now, you might think, big deal, maybe they just forgot. But that's where the magic happens. Certain 1986 pennies were mistakenly struck without a mint mark due to a minting error at the Philadelphia Mint. These rare error coins are highly sought after by collectors, which skyrockets their value. Well, it all comes down to rarity and condition. A standard 1986 penny is basically worth face value. But a no-mint mark error in perfect condition, graded MS67 or higher, can be worth a life-changing amount. A collector once paid nearly $1.8 million at an auction for a pristine example of this error coin. Why? Because in the world of coin collecting, rare mistakes are like unicorns, they don't come around often, and when they do, collectors go wild. Lamborghini for every day of the week or 1.8 million cheeseburgers. You'll need a big fridge, or, retire early and live your best life. How do you find one? Here's what to do. Grab a magnifying glass or use your phone's zoom camera, look just below the year 1986 on the obverse, heads, side. Congratulations! You might have just hit the jackpot. The fewer scratches and wear, the more valuable it is. If you think you found one, don't clean it. Cleaning can actually lower the value. Instead, get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC, the one that got away. Now, let me tell you about the time I almost became rich but instead learned a painful lesson. A few years ago, I was rolling up some loose change to cash in at the bank. I had a pile of pennies and, being the genius that I am, I decided to just dump them into the coin machine without checking. I was talking to a coin collector friend who mentioned a rare penny from the 1980s with no mint mark. My stomach dropped. I had just turned in a bunch of 1986 pennies, and I had never checked for that error. To this day, I have no idea if I gave away $1 million coin for a measly penny. That's why I always tell people, check your change before cashing it in. You never know what treasure might be hiding in plain sight. The 1986 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is one of the rarest error coins out there, and in perfect condition, it can be worth up to $1.80 million. This error happened at the Philadelphia Mint, making it a highly sought-after collector's item. Always check your pennies before spending. You never know if you're holding onto a fortune. If you found this video helpful, fun, or even just a little mind-blowing, hit that like button and subscribe for more tips on spotting valuable coins in your spare change. And before you go, let me know in the comments, what's the most valuable coin you've ever found? Have you ever made the mistake of giving away a rare coin like I did? I'd love to hear your stories. Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel, where we dive deep into the world of pocket change that could make you rich. Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever tossed a penny aside thinking, it's just a penny? Well, what if I told you that a single 1994 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, yes, just one little copper coin, could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.2 million? Yeah, you heard that right, I know. It sounds crazy, but trust me, today, we're going to break it all down. We'll talk about why this coin is so valuable, what to look for, and how you might be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. And stick around because I have a hilarious story about a time I almost threw away a valuable coin. Yep, almost lost thousands to a vending machine. So, grab your coffee, get comfy, and let's uncover the $1,000,000 mystery of the 1994 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Alright, first things first, what exactly is this penny, and why is it worth more than a mansion in some places? The 1994 Lincoln penny was minted in Philadelphia, which is why it doesn't have a mint mark. Normally, this wouldn't make it anything special, but some of these pennies were struck with rare errors or were made using unique materials, making them incredibly valuable. So, if you've got a 1994 penny sitting in your piggy bank, don't spend it yet. Let's talk about what makes it valuable. Now, not all 1994 pennies are worth millions, so don't go flipping over every couch cushion just yet. The ones that are worth serious money have a few key factors that set them apart. Some 1994 pennies were struck with errors, like double dies, off-center strikes, or missing features. These errors can make a huge difference in the value of a coin. For example, one of the most expensive 1994 pennies was sold for $1.2 million because it had a major die error that made Lincoln's profile look slightly distorted, kind of like he got caught mid-sneeze. Most 1994 pennies are made from copper-plated zinc, but a few rare ones were mistakenly struck on bronze planchets, a metal mix that was phased out in 1982. These are extremely rare, and collectors are willing to drop insane amounts of cash to get their hands on one. If your penny looks like it just got run over by a lawnmower, don't expect $1 million for it. The highest value pennies are in mint condition, meaning they look as fresh as the day they were struck. Coins graded MS67 or higher by the PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, are where the big money is. Alright, so let's say you've dug through your change jar and found a 1994 penny. How do you know if it's worth more than 1 cent? Hold your penny up to the light and look for any weird doubling in the letters, an off-center design, or missing details. If something looks off, you might be onto something. A normal 1994 penny weighs 2.5 grams, but if yours weighs 3.1 grams, you could have a rare bronze planchet penny, aka a millionaire's coin. If you suspect you have something special, send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. A professional evaluation can skyrocket your coin's value overnight. Now, let me tell you about a time I almost lost a rare coin, and my mind. So, a few years ago, I was going through some loose change, and I found this old-looking penny. It had a weird shine to it, and something just felt different about it. But instead of checking it right away, I mindlessly tossed it in my car's cup holder. Big mistake. Fast forward a few weeks, I was at a gas station, and I needed some change for air in my tires. Without thinking, I grabbed a handful of coins, including that penny, and shoved them into the machine. Later that day, I saw an article about a rare penny that looked just like the one I had, and my stomach dropped. I ran back to the gas station, but of course, the machine had been emptied. This day, I have no idea if that penny was worth thousands, or just a regular one. Moral of the story? Always check your coins. The surprising truth about the 1994 no-mint mark Lincoln penny that could be hiding in your pocket right now. If you've got one, check it for errors, weigh it, and get it graded. Who knows? You might be sitting on a $1.2 million fortune without even realizing it. And hey, if you found this video helpful, or at least a little entertaining, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on more tips about valuable coins. Hey there, fellow treasure hunters. Have you ever found a penny lying around and thought, it's just a penny? Well, hold on to your pocket change because today, we're diving into a story that might just make you check your couch cushions a little more carefully. Imagine this: you're at the grocery store, you get some change back, and one lonely little penny drops into your palm. It looks normal, right? Nothing special. But what if I told you that this penny could be worth a whopping $1.1 million? Yep, that's right. Today, we're talking about the 2001 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a tiny piece of copper that's worth more than a mansion. Now, before you start tearing apart your car looking for spare change, let's break it all down: what makes this penny so valuable, how to spot one, and how you could turn an ordinary coin into life-changing cash. Stick around because this is one story you don't want to miss. Okay, so let's get into the juicy details. First, why is this 2001 no-mint mark penny so valuable? Isn't it just like every other penny? Well, not exactly. Most pennies minted in 2001 were produced in either Philadelphia, no-mint mark, Denver, D-mint mark, or San Francisco, S-mint mark for proofs. But here's where things get interesting. Some of these pennies, minted in Philadelphia, were struck with a rare error or unique die variety that makes them highly collectible. One of the key reasons this penny is so valuable is because of a possible double die obverse, meaning the features of Lincoln's face or the lettering on the front may appear slightly doubled. This kind of mistake happens when the die used to strike the coin shifts slightly between strikes, creating a blurry, ghost-like effect. Some of these pennies were struck on the wrong planchet, possibly from a foreign coin or even an older 95% copper planchet instead of the standard zinc-coated planchet used in 2001. That mix-up makes them incredibly rare. Coin collectors love a good mystery. When a rare variety is discovered, the demand skyrockets, and suddenly, that ordinary-looking penny is worth more than a luxury sports car. It has to be from 2001 and have NO mint mark under the year. If you see a D or an S, sorry, it's not the $1 million penny. Use a magnifying glass, or even your phone's camera, to check Lincoln's profile, the word Liberty, or the date. If the letters or features look a little fuzzy or doubled, you might be onto something. A normal 2001 penny should weigh 2.5 grams. But if yours is heavier, around 3.1 grams, it could have been struck on an older copper planchet, making it extra rare. Check for off-center strikes or other errors. If the design looks shifted or incomplete, that's another sign you might have a valuable mistake. Here's the part that makes you want to dig through every jar of pennies you've ever collected. In top condition, with visible doubling and a strong error, this 2001 no mint mark penny has sold for as much as $1.1 million at auction. Even ones in less than perfect shape can still sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Some collectors are actively offering huge rewards just to get their hands on one. So if you happen to find one, don't just toss it in a Coinstar machine. Get it checked out by a professional coin grader, like PCGS or NGC, and see what kind of goldmine you're sitting on. One that still haunts me to this day. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my car and found a bunch of loose change. I remember seeing this one shiny 2001 penny and thinking, meh, just another penny. So what did I do? I put it in the vending machine for a Snickers bar. Fast forward to a few weeks later, I read an article about the rare 2001 no mint mark penny being worth millions. My heart sank. I literally had one in my hand, and I spent it on chocolate. Now, don't get me wrong, that Snickers was delicious, but was it $1.1 million delicious? Absolutely not. The 2001 no mint mark Lincoln penny could be worth up to $1.1 million, so start checking your coins, look for doubling, weight differences, and off-center strikes to identify a rare one. And if you think you've got a valuable penny, don't just spend it, get it professionally graded. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about hidden treasures in your pocket change, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. You never know, your next lucky penny might just make you a millionaire. Alright, coin lovers, let me ask you this: when was the last time you actually looked at your pocket change? I mean, really looked? If you're like most people, you probably just toss pennies aside, thinking they're basically worthless. But what if I told you that a 2007 D Lincoln penny, yep, just a regular OL penny, could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.40 million? Yeah, you heard that right. A single penny, the kind you'd probably ignore on the sidewalk, could be hiding in your collection, quietly waiting to turn you into a millionaire. Today, we're diving deep into the story of this surprising coin, what makes it so valuable, and most importantly, how you can find one. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be running to check your coin jar. And if you find one, don't forget to send me a thank you note. Just kidding, kind of. You're probably thinking, okay, what's the catch? Why would a penny from 2007 be worth over $1 million? Well, my friends, it all comes down to rarity, errors, and collector demand. First off, this isn't just any 2007 D penny. The key to its insane value lies in mint errors and high-grade condition. Some of these pennies were struck on the wrong type of planchet, meaning the blank metal disc used to make the coin wasn't the normal copper-plated zinc. Instead, some were accidentally struck on bronze planchets that weren't supposed to be in circulation after 1982. Basically, it's like finding a modern car built with an engine from the 1950s. It just shouldn't exist, but somehow, it does. And now, let's talk about the D mint mark. This means it was struck in Denver, and while millions of 2007 D pennies were made, only a tiny handful have been found with these major minting mistakes. And when something is rare, coin collectors go absolutely wild. Alright, so we've established that this penny is rare. But why is it worth so much? Well, let's take a trip to the coin collecting world. where auctions can turn a humble piece of pocket change into a small fortune. A few years back, one of these rare 2007 D Lincoln pennies was graded MS69 by PCGS, meaning it was nearly flawless, and when it hit the auction block, collectors went nuts, $1.4 million. Yep, that's a seven-figure payday for a penny, and before you say, oh, but that's just one lucky sale, here's the kicker: prices for rare error coins have been rising every year. So, if another one of these coins pops up in perfect condition, who knows? It could fetch even more. And now, let me share a quick story to make this even more real. A while back, I heard about a valuable coin that might be lurking in loose change. I got so excited that I spent an entire weekend digging through jars, couch cushions, and even my car's cup holders, hoping to find a jackpot coin. Not if I had actually found something rare, it could have been life-changing. And that's why I always tell people, look through your coins. It's like a free lottery ticket sitting in your pocket. You just have to know what to look for. Your spare change could be hiding a fortune. That 2007 D Lincoln penny might seem ordinary, but if you find one with the right minting error and in pristine condition, you could be looking at a life-changing amount of money. Go check your penny jar, your wallet, and maybe even the floor of your car. You never know what you might find, and if you love learning about valuable coins, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got tons more crazy coin stories coming your way, because let's be real, who doesn't want to turn pocket change into big money?